everybody, Phil Breeden, owner and founder of LC Barbecue, and you're watching the So Smoking Gooder Show.
All right. Thank you, Phil Breeden, for that intro. We are showing up a little bit late. That is Case's fault. No, I'm just kidding.
It is my fault.
I did just roll in from a Little League baseball game, and our guest was the first one here before Case and I were even here, and that's awesome because we've got a great guest on tonight. We've got the winner of the American Royal Open. That is a 485 team Billy Badass event, and we got the winner, Mr. Travis Duffy of Last Call Heroes. He'll be on in just a moment, but just wanted to introduce myself. My name is Robert Rocha, and I'm coming to you from the Bullhorn headquarters in Cypress, Texas, alongside my show partner, Mr. Case Hahn. What is up, Case?
What's up, Rob?
Oh, man.
I am excited, thoroughly excited about today's show.
Mm-hmm.
At any time, I'm thoroughly excited about a show. Normally comments will fly. So we're looking forward to them tonight. I am locked and loaded and ready to go. So glad to be with everybody tonight.
What are you so excited about? The guest?
What a wonderful week it was in social media. And so Felicia was told to leave and people got mad and people got 2s and 6s and we're doing math now. And so and there are some talking points tonight, boys.
There was some good toilet reading on Facebook. I got to ask Travis about that. I heard a comment from him on another show that I was listening to about this very topic. So I am going to throw that up on him. Hey, but our Astros continue to kick ass. They're up 3-2 to the Boston Red Sox. Hopefully this time next week we'll be talking a World Series. We'll see what happens. I don't know what the Dodgers and Braves are doing today, but it's looking really good for the good guys. We'll see what happens here. If we got 2 more games at home, we got 1 more game at home. Let me fix that. We don't want to go to 2, but yes, we do. We do.
For TV ratings purposes only.
Well, what's up, guys? Robert Shadle's in the house. T-Squared Barbecue. Again, we are doing this to YouTube. It has not caught on like I would hope, but we're still going to broadcast to YouTube. We're going to talk social media as well a little bit later. But Case, you got anything that's interesting that's happened to you at all this week? I mean, I did see the comments going on, and listen, these things are tough. These sanctioning bodies are tough to maneuver, especially when you got a bunch of opinions out there. But I know that the IBCA, they sent out a survey.
I actually filled out my survey.
Did you fill out your survey?
I actually filled out. You as a proud member. It asked me how many events I cook a year, and I said 2-ish. So I filled my survey out. I was a proud member, and I did my due diligence to voice my opinion in the appropriate channels, which is not social media.
Well, we'll hit that a little later in the show. Of course, we have the Bull Printing Wraps and Graphics wrap-up recap and the Briscoe Ranch Cook-Off upcoming event segment. We'll definitely hit those. But before we get to any and all that, let's give a shout-out to our wonderful, talented, and thank you, generous sponsors for the show. Shout out to our great sponsors, Rec Tech, Cosmos Q Products, Texas Pepper Jelly, Briscoe Ranch Cook-Off at the Crossroads, LC Barbecue, Rick's RV Rentals and Repairs, Eureka Heights Brew Company, Chicken Fried Barbecue Grind, Jay Harding and Company, Texas Oil Dust, Bullprint Wraps and Graphics, and the Barbecue Store in Hempstead. Thank you for supporting the So Smoking Gooder Show. Trumpet Master tuning in from YouTube says Rec Tech Baby. He's got a Rec Tech on his profile picture right there. And if you go to this guy's YouTube, he's a trumpeter. He cooks and you hear trumpet music. It's pretty cool. And I have checked it out, Trumpet Master. Thanks for checking us out as well. All right, well, let's get to our guest. You ready for this?
Royalty.
This is our second Open winner on the show. Who was our first, Case?
Wasn't you?
not me. Definitely not me. It was
my good friend, Fred
Robles. All right, well, let's get our second American Royal Open winner right now. He's a champion. He's a world champion. Mr. Travis Duffy. What is up, Travis? How are you tonight?
Good, guys. How are you guys doing? Thanks for having me on.
Man, we're honored to have you on our show. What are you doing? You're in a hotel. What's going on? What's going on this weekend?
We're traveling right now. We're doing a backyard class in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Our sponsor, Barbecue Heaven at Fireplace Professionals. So we had to get going on the road this evening so we could take that trip. Got a couple things I got to do tomorrow for prep and get ready for our class on Saturday evening. We're going to be doing some compart ribs and some Snake River Farms briskets in our class for the backyard. It's pretty cool. So looking forward to that.
Now, you said you're where tonight?
We are at the La Quinta, beautiful La Quinta in Sioux Falls, South Dakota.
Is anybody else surprised that they actually have internet access in South Dakota? I just want to throw that out there.
Well, I will say I'm currently tethering data off my iPad because the Wi-Fi in the hotel is not very good here.
So this is well, glad you won the Royal because this could get expensive tonight with your data charges.
We got unlimited. It's all good.
Hey, Travis. So this is a predominantly Texas-based barbecue show. You're up in South Dakota, which is awesome.
North Texas, we call it.
A little North Texas, exactly.
It's a little colder up here.
Why don't you give us your rundown and introduce yourself? Because I know a lot of these Texas teams do not know of you.
Sure.
But let's hear it.
We are Last Call Heroes Barbecue out of South Dakota here. I live in central South Dakota and Pierre grew up in Oldham, South Dakota. A lot of you are probably wondering what a guy like me would know about barbecue where I win the American Royal, but we do love our outdoor cooking. Agriculture is big up here. We love to grill the animals. We love to cook them. So we have some barbecue roots in our area too, even though maybe we aren't known for it. We love outdoor cooking and grilling and everything here too. And always had a love for that. And we started cooking. First contest in 2012, we just cooked a little backyard rib cook-off that my friends convinced me that we should cook, and we ended up winning it. And probably like a lot of you guys who started in barbecue, our story is kind of similar on that, where you go to a contest and you do better than you thought you were going to do, and then you're hooked for life, if you want to call it that. But after we had won that first contest, we knew we wanted to do a bunch more, and here we are 9 years later in KCBS, winning the American Royal, I guess.
I guess that's pretty cool.
Well, I just happened to win the American Royal. It's just like a normal. It's a Sunday stroll for this guy.
Yeah,
you won the American Royal. How does that feel, man? For the rest of your days, they're going to call you an American Royal World Champion.
Yeah, I don't know how it ever sets in to a person 100%, but it's definitely a dream that come true. I don't want to call what we do a sport by any means. It's not. It's a game. It's a competitive thing. Well, if you think at kind of some of the other competitive activities in our country at the professional level, and you look at how many years it takes for a lot of people to win those things. I mean, sometimes it takes people 20 plus years in the field to win a world championship or a crown jewel event and be able to do it the third time out. At the time, of course, the third time we ever cooked the Royal, win it. It's something to be very proud of, very fortunate of, and something that we'll never. It's a life-changing event. Even if my life don't change a whole lot, you're going to remember this for the rest of your life.
That is forever. You'll be a world champion from the American Royal. But leading up to this, 2018, you finished 11th place out there. 2019, you were the reserve grand champion to our good friend Fred Robles, and then of course 2020 there was no American Royal. So then you come back to 2021 and you win the damn thing. I mean, you've got a secret that nobody out there knows, because 485 teams. Everybody says it's a crapshoot. Of course, you got to have a lot of luck with tables and whatnot. Of course, you got to put out the great food. But what's your approach going into it? Because we had a bunch of shows leading up to for some Texas teams going up that may have never have done it before. It's everybody's goal to win the American Royal, right? There's 400 teams that are out there with the same goal, but you seem to have like an inside track, like you know something different about that. Do you go from contest to contest and treat this one any different?
I don't actually treat it any different, other than we made a couple changes on day 2 of the Royal, just on the timelines due to the different turn-in times. But no, I approach American Royal like any other contest I cook. I even from teammates to friends, everybody, asks like, hey, do you get nervous when you drive in that tunnel, that track? I'm like, no, I live for that moment. I don't get nervous. I'm pumped. That weekend, I'm probably more in the zone than I am in any other contest. And I don't know how or why I've been able to take the mental approach I have. I'm able to shut everything out. I don't let people get in my head, and I just cook it. I know a lot of people it intimidates to cook that contest, and me, it's just I love the weekend. I look forward to it because I get to see all my friends that I maybe don't get to see as much. A lot of you guys from Texas, I get to hear you guys raise the roof of that place and crank the energy through it. I love that. I love the energy of the Royal, and I think I feed off of it. As far as if we have an edge, I think it's probably too early to tell, but when one looks at a track record and sees an 11th and a 2nd and a 1st, I mean, I couldn't even have wrote that story that good if I wanted to make it up. Again, a couple 3 years asked me that question again, and if we have kept our consistency there, maybe I've got something figured out. But I know how my luck goes. About the time I think I got something figured out, it does a 180 on me, and not in the perfect score world. So we'll see. I'm sure my day's coming there where I walk away empty-handed and disappointed. I got a little bit of that on Saturday there, and went back to a hotel room pretty beat up, but we had to put it behind us and tell ourselves that there was another opportunity. I think one of the things that we approach that contest or barbecue or life in general is we just never give up. You're never out of the fight until the fight's over. So that I know people say that and it's kind of cliche, but you never ever give up. Even if you're having a day where you're having a shitty cook and things aren't going your way, you just keep pushing through. Keep asking yourself, David Bosco with Butcher Barbecue preaches the win methodology. What's important now? You have to ask yourself during your cook, you're struggling with something, you got to stop and just ask yourself, what do I got to do here? What do we do to get this back on track? And those are the things I think that help us out, not just at the Royal, but everywhere, is we don't give up. The prime example of that, 2016 or 17, I forget what year it was. We were cooking a contest here in South Dakota, and we went to set the sauce on our chicken, which we do on a drum, so we can get a little smoke in the sauce. And it was my fault. I was carrying the chicken towards it, and normally I'll keep it a little low, my tray, so I don't bump in, just to protect it. And I had the tray high. My teammate opened the lid of the drum so I could set the chicken in there, and the lid of the drum hit the tray of the chicken, and it all ended up on the ground in the gravel. We had to take all that, I could have just freaked out right then and there, locked up and wondered, what to do. But I immediately picked all that chicken up, brought it inside the trailer. We wiped it all off, resauced it, set the sauce again, and we got 6 pieces in the box and turned it in, and the whole time I was worried. I'm like, yep, the rep will be here any second to DQ us for a foreign object when they taste that gravel in there. And I turned in 6 pieces of chicken. I grabbed a thigh bit, and about my 3rd bite, I had a piece of gravel in my teeth. And I'm like, here we go. And I cooked that whole contest, and I was like, I don't know. We ended up 14th in chicken that day and got 5th. But, it just goes to show, I could have gave up, gotten 21st, and went home, but we didn't. And we come home to the top 5. We made a couple grand that day and had a good time.
That's yeah, you're right. There's things that happen during a cook that you got to overcome. Did anything like that happen at the Royal? These last 3 that might have throwing you off a little bit, or was it pretty smooth?
The roller goes pretty smooth for the sheer fact that we just plan so much for turn in. Like prime example this year, they moved turn ins to a different spot. We're over on what they call the invitational or the quiet side, which is this year was a 6-minute walk for us. It was technically a 5, but I add a minute. And that's probably why when it comes to the American Royal, my first approach is not to do anything to be detrimental to the day. So, like prime example, some contests we might play games on when we put turn boxes in, maybe try to land on a certain table with somebody or whatever. At the Royal, my box runners are told to set it down and get it turned in.
Yep.
We don't play games. You get there, you set it down, and you walk away. It's not worth messing up.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm glad they moved that judging room, because that was right down the street from me this year. We had that 7-minute walk for the last 4 years, and then I think we had a 1-minute walk this year. So I was welcoming that over there.
Yeah.
It definitely makes you plan differently for sure. That when you got that long walk, and that's the first thing that I do at a contest. I go and I do not a slow walk, not a fast walk, but just a nice even pace walk every time, just to see, how long that is, because I don't know, you don't know me very well, but I'm that last second guy. I've never missed a turn in, but I'm always pushing that damn window. So that's the first thing I do is go take that walk.
Absolutely.
So what's the barbecue scene like in South Dakota? I mean, how many teams are out of South Dakota? Is it just you and you against everybody, or what's going on up there?
No, we got a pretty good following here.
Nice.
Just kind of a heads up to kind of promote South Dakota here a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
You guys might not known, but reserve grand champion of the Invitational was South Dakota too.
Wow.
Mr. Kevin Huber with Sin Circle Barbecue is from Brandon, South Dakota, about 15 minutes down the road from me. He's one of my good friends, and we're actually going to meet up tomorrow and hang out a little bit. So. Yeah, barbecue's growing pretty good in South Dakota. We used to have 5 contests. We lost a couple during COVID, but we know how that goes, and hopefully we can get through this and maybe gain one back. But we got a few cooks in South Dakota that cook pretty regularly. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the name Mr. Parrot Head Smokers, John Nilgis. He's been cooking since the early 2000s. He's out of Dakota Dunes, South Dakota. Rum and Smoke, Who Dat Barbecue. You've probably seen them out and about a few times. We got a handful of cooks from South Dakota, not a ton like what you guys have, but for our state, we're pretty happy with it.
That's pretty solid. I remember hearing that name, Sin Circle Barbecue, quite a bit on I guess Saturday, probably all over the weekend.
Yeah.
Kent, he's on. He wants to know, did Travis learn all his tricks from Who Dat and Mad Chads? Since you just mentioned the Who Dat, this must be a buddy getting in there.
Well, if Who Dat keeps 180 in pork like they do, I'm going to go steal their pork method and update mine. But those are good guys. Both them guys. I am not much of a partier, but both Who Dat and Mad Chads we're pretty regular over in our area at the Royal. It was a fun weekend hanging out with all them guys. The Who Dat boys introduced me to something that was ungodly, unhealthy, and should never, ever, ever be cooked ever again. But
what is that?
Listening, don't wrap pizza rolls with bacon and put them on your rack tech or whatever you're cooking on. They're addicting and ridiculous and should never be made.
Pizza rolls wrapped in bacon, probably sauced a little bit. Who knows?
Yep.
That's awesome. That is awesome. So, talk about your cook. I heard, is it drums you're cooking on, or what is it you're cooking on now?
We cook on an Outlaw Smokers offset, and I bring a 30-gallon Gateway drum along also. Nice.
Heart attack bites. Yeah. Those Outlaw Smokers, they're beautiful pits. I've seen a few of them out there now. Those are some nice offsets, right? It's an offset, most of them. Yeah, it's it's like your Jambo. It cooks like a Jambo. I cook on it like it's a Jambo. Nice. It's not saying right, wrong, or indifferent about either one of them. I don't really care to get into the debates about what's better, but we love cooking on our Outlaw. I'd be lying if I told you I ain't taken some classes from some cooks that cook on Jambos that are damn good cooks, and I'd be lying if I
didn't tell you I wasn't cooking really similar to the way they cook on them, you know. So it's a great pit, you know, cross draft pit, puts a great color on stuff, and I enjoy cooking on it.
No, they're great. They're great smokes, and you keep that gateway drum there as well.
Yeah, we do some sauce setting, and if we ever need to blast something, I just got that kind of sitting there, and she just cranks at, you know, 300, 350 throughout the contest. And when we get to turn-ins, I struggle oftentimes to watch the fire in my offset, and I know that I got that little 30-gallon drum hot all the time, and I can always use it if I need to.
I bet that 30-gallon, you could pretty much spike it and get it down as pretty quickly, I'd imagine, because I'm used to the 55 now. Those are great cooking machines.
I'm glad I have the high temp paint because I forgot a few times and walked away, and I've had burn barrels a few times.
Yep.
We had to get under control, but I tell you what, it holds up pretty good. You know, there's people that complain about the paint on that stuff, but that's a pretty corrosive environment. It's going to happen.
So traveling around the country, what's an average drive for you at these contests? You mentioned, you know, what, 3 now in South Dakota. So you're doing a lot of traveling. Have you made it out to Texas yet?
I have not, but we're going to Houston.
Nice. Oh yeah, you are. You're coming to the big dance down here.
Yeah.
It's a different bird. That's a half chicken type thing out here. You'll get used to it once before. You still got a year. Or is it gonna be? Are you coming this one?
Yeah, we're coming this one. We had a conversation with Craig Sherry a week or two ago on the phone, and got a little bit of an introduction to kind of how Houston rolls and stuff. And you know, we come from the KCBS side, so you know, I follow the IBCA and CBA and kind of what you guys cook down there, and I'm jealous of your half chickens that you don't have to trim a bunch of chicken thighs. And we had learned from Craig that we're cooking 3 categories at Houston, and basically we can tag a couple of each. So looks like we're going to cook a couple whole chickens, a couple racks of ribs, and a couple briskets. And I'm actually looking forward to that because it's not like we have it's considerably less than I cook for a KCBS contest. So
sure,
I'm looking forward to it. Probably going to get my butt kicked, but hey, I'm going to try.
You never know. That Darren Worth has won it, and that guy's been around. He brought his KCBS show down here and did really well. I think that's about 3 years ago now. Yeah, chicken trimming sucks. I agree with you. How many are you doing, thighs or legs?
I'm doing thighs.
You're doing thighs, okay. And you're probably, I don't know, one contest you probably got 12 on there, or I don't know. What are you cooking? How many of those things you got to trim for a contest?
I cook 8 chicken thighs per contest.
Wow, you don't give yourself.
I like to live on the edge.
I don't believe him.
You are living on the edge with that.
Case, I'm cooking a contest next week in a double, and I'm going to send you pictures both days.
8? There's no way. You don't mean 18? Rob, don't we do 18? How many you fit on the RegTech Mini? I think 18.
Probably.
I do 8.
That is living on the edge. That's for damn sure.
You want to know the story on how that started? It's not a very difficult. It's not a very long one either.
No, let's hear it.
I did, first doubleheader I cooked this year was down in Holdridge, Nebraska.
Go Big Red.
Yeah. LC was there. He kicked our butts on day 2. That double, preparing for it this weekend, you know, I used to cook 16 chicken thighs, so a double means I got to trim 32. Wow. And when it come to Tuesday and trimming chicken thighs, I was like, I don't really want to trim 32. So I trimmed 16, cooked 8 a day, and I never looked back.
Huh. Well, good for you.
I'm starting to see that if I only cook 8, I focus on those 8. I trim 8 better and nicer. And I just basically, when I'm done, I got 6 I'm going to put in the box and 2 that I use as my testers to dial it in on the cutting board if I need to, you know, hit it with some more finished powder or, you know, salt it, spice it, you know, whatever, you know, just a couple pieces to taste and get dialed in the way I wanted it. And unfortunately, I don't have a bunch of chicken to, you know, give away or hand out to my buddies at a contest doing that. But it makes my life during the week.
That would also be a big issue for me because I would have not enough to eat.
Yeah, I will say chicken is probably for some reason right now it's my least favorite to prep, but it's my actual favorite thing to eat at a contest. So I'm actually a little bit disappointed that we don't have a little bit more to eat because I don't mind eating chicken. It's probably I can get burned. You can get burned out of the other stuff during the season because you eat it more. But it's not like on a random Saturday I'm at home, prepping contest chicken thighs, for the heck of it. So it's kind of a treat. I only get at a contest. Maybe I should be practicing chicken more. I don't know. I sucked for about a year in it, but I figured it out finally.
You just won the Royal. I think you're done practicing.
Yeah.
That was my first 180 in chicken at the Royal. I'd never got a 180 in chicken before, so it was a pretty cool place to do it.
Did you really only cook 8 chicken thighs at the Royal?
16 total for both days, but yeah, the Open I only cooked 8 pieces.
Wow.
How'd you do in the Invitational?
We were 58th overall. Everything was in the kind of the low 170s to upper 160s, and that's just not enough to play in that field.
So leading into the next day, do you change anything after a 58th?
Just my attitude. Kicked myself in the ass a little bit, and
Nice.
had to apologize to my mother for a few text messages that were probably a little bit on the mean side, the mad side. But yeah, other than that, no, the cook went the same. It was kind of it was actually kind of crazy how close both days cooks were. I honestly didn't have one that I liked more than the other one. They were both just normal cooks. We've been cooking pretty hard this year, not as hard as a lot of them do, but at least cooking every other weekend. So we're in a pretty good roll. So I have a pretty good idea of how my stuff turns out and, what it's going to taste like and what I'm actually looking for and everything. So I felt that both cooks were pretty even, and we all know how it is. There's a lot of a luck factor in the judging tent. So about all you can do is have a day like that where you're happy with your cook and just tell yourself that, if we get a little luck in the judging, and they like our stuff that day, that we might have an opportunity. And, I don't know. We've cooked the Invitational twice. In 2019, we went to the Royal and just cooked the Open because we missed out on the Invitational. But the 2 times I've cooked the Invitational, I have struggled a little bit. I believe the first year I cooked the Invitational, I was like 46th, and now we were like 58th or something. So we seem to be not pleasing the larger demographic of master CBJs that they'll favor.
I was going to ask you that. Are there different? I mean, I know they have some of on the Open. I know that they not swear in whatever they certify a bunch of judges that day or that weekend anyway to go and do the Open. But the Invitational, these most of these guys are this is their life. A lot of these guys, like we travel to cook, they travel to judge. Is that where most of these guys are doing their judging on the Invitational?
Well, I can only go off what I'm told, and this is what I've been told. So this is what I've been told that the Invitational they'll preference master CBJs, but that doesn't mean that you wouldn't get in. Otherwise. Sorry, the dog's barking at the car, but this is what I've heard. I've heard a couple stories about judging in general. Sorry about that here.
You're good. This is normal for our show, by the way. It's normally Rob's dogs.
We ordered a pizza and it's here. They'll quit barking here in a second.
Yeah.
So what I heard on day 2 of the Open was there was 60 some tables of judges. Everything got 7 entries on it, and apparently they asked everybody in that giant room how many of them have judged a barbecue contest before, and about 20 stood up. Of course, from what I hear from you guys is you guys get judges off the street for most of your contests, so you guys are probably just used to that in Texas, aren't you?
Yeah, yes. That's a whole other argument for later in the show. So
sure, yeah,
that's a whole argument that I was told to play nice while you were here, and I'm pretty sure they purposely had technical issues with my side just to keep me on mute.
Who told you to play nice?
I was told you, yeah, you can talk trash talk, whatever you want. I don't care, man.
The only thing I know about South Dakota is the home of the Jackrabbits and my beloved Sam Houston State with their ass. So.
Oh, well, yeah, there's probably some people that there are probably some Jackrabbit fans listening right now back home that might not like that, but you know how it goes.
Eat them up, cats.
But yeah, I don't know. Thinking that I'm probably going to go down a rabbit hole here with judging. I think I've talked about this on some other podcasts, but kind of in my mind, I don't know if this is right, wrong, or indifferent, but definitely the pandemic, in my mind, I feel has changed judging demographics from what it was in 2019, just because, of in KCBS, I don't know how it is in Texas, but we definitely draw a retired crowd, 50, 60, year old age. It's a great gig to drive around the country and judge barbecue when you're doing that. And so I think in 2019 and before, you had a large amount of master certified judges judging, and that in that age. And when the pandemic happened, a lot of them people just weren't comfortable getting out and judging, so they took decided maybe they found something else they wanted to do instead of judge. But it's definitely changed the demographic to younger and less certified or less experienced judges in the past. And with that, they want more flavor. It appears way. Maybe I'm 100% wrong, but looks like you can, and I can't complain about it because it's barbecue.
Mm-hmm.
Did I lose you guys?
You're there.
Okay.
Now, do you feel, though, with the judging as they've gotten younger, we've had these conversations, too, with younger judges, that maybe you can push the envelope when it comes to heat. And do you, so is that the direction that you think we've kind of had that conversation? If we, even down here, if we walk into a room and you see a bunch of old judges, you kind of dial it back. But if you have maybe a younger group over there, maybe you dial it up a little bit.
I think
is that where you think your head's at right now?
I have dialed up. If I go back and look at my notes from what I was running in 2019 to what I'm running right now, it is way different. We are way hotter. We are way saltier. We are way smokier. We're about everything more but sweet. And maybe I need to be more sweet too. I don't know, but yeah, I've had to amplify savory, spicy, and salty in smoky in this climate. Part of the reason that Gateway Drum comes to the contest is that reason. I can drop some chunks of wood on there and really give some smoke to something if I need to.
Yeah, that is something to look at. I have no idea. Maybe that you may be onto something there as far as that's concerned. But yeah, back in we used to hear middle of the road barbecue, right? Middle of the road barbecue. Now maybe not so much, but that's Manuel says that because all the new Texas cooks cook in KCBS. There's a lot.
Very well could be. Yeah. David Qualls made a great point on Luke Darnell's podcast a few weeks ago about the evolution of flavors in barbecue, and he made something that made a comment that stuck with me. And that the comment was, anytime that a team shows up at a contest and introduces a new flavor to that judge tent, the flavors have now evolved. So more Texas involvement in KCBS is absolutely influencing KCBS. It absolutely is. Anytime, and if that would happen, if we gained a ton of Washington cooks, it's going to change, because every region is going to bring their predominant flavors into the judging tent and evolve barbecue every time.
Case, what's California's flavor?
Yeah, I think it would just be the garnish. I don't think they would put any meat in the box at all. I think it would just be kale.
Case always loves to give California some hell.
Yeah.
It's all your fault. No, that's not our fault. So now we're talking some KCBS. We don't cook a whole bunch of it, like I mentioned. Are you a burnt end guy, and do you feel that is a necessary product in your
I am not a burnt end guy. I gave up turning them in 2017. I suck at cooking burnt ends. I mean, I like them myself, but if I turn them in, I can find a couple, 3 of them at the table that'll find problems with them. So we play the approach that if they're not in the box, they can't be judged, and we feel we turn in a pretty good brisket slice. So we just let that slice, hold its own. Another thing that I look at is when a new judge takes KCBS's training class. KCBS gives them a pull test and a few things that they can do with a brisket slice to determine if it's been cooked properly, but they don't tell them anything about a burn end.
Yeah, that's true.
So everybody's got a different opinion of what a properly cooked burn end is. Some people want every bit of fat rendered, and then if you do that, they get what I feel mealy. And otherwise, if you leave a little bit of fat, then the next guy complains that you didn't render all the fat. Well, how do I please everybody when everybody's got a different opinion? Obviously, you can, because there's badasses out there that turn in burn ends all the time and want to eat brisket, but I surely haven't gotten it figured out yet.
And lots of times they taste completely different, and most of the time, than the slices itself. So that is just another thing, like you mentioned, that they can't. If I don't turn them in, because I don't do enough of them. I like to eat them, like you said, but that's just something that I don't want them judging me on.
Yeah, it's one of those things. I bring the point to the contest, and I do cook it, but I literally cook it for the sheer fact of if I completely destroy my flat, I have something. But to be 100% honest, most of the time, we don't even open the foil up and see if it's even any good. It goes in the fridge, and then it goes in the freezer, and then we eat it later when we have a party.
That a baby. That a baby.
You are not a taco. You can't make everyone happy. Hey,
yeah, 100% right. It's kind of you know, that's where where that middle of the road thing comes.
Yeah.
I still think that middle of the road barbecue wins. It's that the goalpost of what middle of the road has moved. Middle of the road is now a little more than what it used to be, I think.
Good point. So, being someone that travels quite a bit to a contest, so you've been around the country quite a bit. A lot of some of our conversations down here are team counts at cook-offs. Have you noticed anything as far as, from year to year? Because 2020 obviously shut down some contests, but are they back up or down, or what are you seeing out there across the country?
They were up there a little bit at the beginning of the year, but I tell you what, at the end of the year, it's just crashed. I mean, you can see the effects of a meat industry, that the prices through the roof of fuel. I mean, it's just getting to the point where guys can't afford to get out and cook like they could before. And, the last few weeks of contests in KCBS, it's been hard to find 25 team contests, to the point where 35 max point shows is a dream right now. We're going to cook next weekend down in Kansas City at Boo BQ that Greg and them guys are putting on down there. And I know that's got 35 plus teams, but I think the last 3 weeks, of course, doesn't help when there was a couple invitationals over the last couple weeks going on too, but the numbers are down. A lot of the cooks that are, that cook a handful a year, they just threw the towel in for the year. And I don't blame them one bit. I mean, paying $25 a rack and for ribs and some of the prices that are going on right now, it's crazy. And I hope it changes, because it could have a very devastating effect on competition barbecue as a whole if this continues on. It's not sustainable for our beloved hobby or sport or whatever you want to call it. Game. Yeah. We're a bunch of fat kids cooking barbecue in a parking lot. We are not athletes.
Give me one sport, Travis. This is the one sport I still play.
It's built for us. Body by barbecue.
Hey, I'm built for bowling too. I just want to know.
We're built for bowling as well.
Yeah.
Bill Purvis in the house. That's one of the Texas cook we were talking about.
Oh yeah, I love Bill.
He's a great guy. So you mentioned classes. Is there one thing that propelled you to maybe from where you were? My story is, I was kind of middle of the road and kind of more of a partier than anything until I started taking it a little more serious. But is there anything like that might have shot you up?
Yeah, for sure. First off, I'll say we were very fortunate when we started our career in competition barbecue. 2014 was my first year cooking KCBS. I cooked 6 contests my first year, and 5 of them were top 10s. One was a top 5. It would be very hard to repeat that with getting into the game with today's talent. Of course, I say that, and my teammate Ardell went and banged off he started his barbecue career and banged off 2 top 10s and a top 5 this year.
Nice.
So apparently it can be done, but it's not easy this day and age. I mean, you see the amount of 700s given out any weekend. Some people complain that they give them out like candy, but let's also be real. We're cooking some of the best barbecue that's ever been turned in a judging tent right now. It doesn't matter if it's in Texas, South Dakota, where it's at. Barbecue has evolved and it's innovated over the years, and it's a different generation of barbecue now. Everything from we're raising better animals, we're building better cookers, we're making better spices, making better sauces. Everything we're doing is better than it has been before. Naturally, the scores are going to go up. It still isn't an excuse to just have scores going through the roof, but we still need realistic scores. But they very well might be. I've tasted a lot of barbecue the last couple of years from a lot of teams, and I tell you what, I've ate some stuff that's been phenomenal. And it's like Jesus. Every year you wonder, how you're going to get better, because you're like, how do I cook better than I already am? But you find a way. It's your competition keeps pushing you to get better. That's what happens. When one guy's taking a class, you have to. But yeah, just to go on with that, even though we started with some good success, by my second or third year, we started taking classes. I take at least one class every year, so I can find something to learn. You're never done learning. Every cook we either learn something, or we get this idea in our head that we're onto something. And you just keep rolling with it from week to week and building on what you're doing. And and then in the off season, you get a chance to anything. If a class does anything, it lets you step away from your own program that you're very ingrained in, and just watch somebody else cook. Step out of your own comfort zone, and you'll start to see things that you're like, shit, that's genius. Why didn't I think of that? You mentioned that you guys have mentioned you listened to a couple podcasts before, and I mentioned that one before, one that I started doing this year, and I was like, geez, why did it take me 9 years to figure this out? But you guys probably don't have this problem in Texas with your whole chickens. But one thing that I didn't like is I take my chicken thighs and I just vac seal them in one of the styrofoam packages that they come in, right? I'll put 8 in one thing, right? And then I'll vac seal that, and they'll kind of hold their shape. But it always pissed me off when I would put them in the cooler and then the ice would kind of smash them up. Mm-hmm. What I just started doing was taking another one of those. I would take that styrofoam thing, I'd vac seal it. Then I would go and take another one and set over the top of it, and then vac seal that. So then I can throw it in the bottom of the cooler and cover it with 20 pounds of ice. It doesn't hurt the chicken. And then I get to the contest. When I get the meat out of my cooler, I'll move it to the fridge in my trailer. I'll cut that open, and I take that top one off, and then my chicken is still vac sealed in that styrofoam container. And then when it comes to meat inspection time, I literally just pull it out of my fridge, and here you go. And it looks just like it was when I was at home. And I don't know. Maybe somebody could get.
No, that's a great tip for somebody out there.
Maybe people have been doing it for 20 years, and I just figured it out. I don't know, but I think it's pretty cool. And just things like that. The things I learned at class are little things like that. And
yeah, absolutely. Talking about what you mentioned about the the level of cooks and turn-ins and whatnot. I did actually speak to a judge out at the Royal, and this was after the contest. I said, "Hey, how'd it go in there?" It's feeling them out. He's like, it's hard, everybody's turning in good food. He said back in the day, there would be a disparity of what he would see versus, the good teams. He said, it's hard to make that change now, or that the line is definitely, it's right there. Everybody's right at the same level. So, congrats to you. So you're talking about the numbers. You had a 713. That's pretty damn amazing, right? Is that what your total number was at the Royal?
It was a 709 something.
709, yeah.
I had Mr. Blaine Hunter had to point it out to me that he also got a 709 in 2017 when he won it, and his decimal places beyond the 709 were higher than mine. So
I forgot.
You just put your crown on and just say continue. Is there anything else you'd like to say? You just sit there and go, now what was that again?
Well, Blaine actually has the higher score. He had to remind me of it, but
currently, you
gotta
live in the present.
Yeah, currently I can't put the crown on. I left it at home. I don't really travel that much. It's just plastic, and half the jewels have fell off of it by the time we got it home. So it's cool. It's cool to have in the collection, knowing what it is. But
my bad.
The trophy is way cooler than the crown.
We've had Blaine, Fred, and Travis now on, so we've had 3 American Royal Open.
You guys are uptown now.
We're trying. We're on YouTube too. Did I tell you? Did I tell you we're on YouTube? They're just well, has anything at all, if any, changed since you won? Maybe a few more of these, but anything changed for you after that big win? I
still got to go to work every day. I'm still taking the trash out. Of course, Emily's going to remind me that she took it out this morning probably, but I'm still got to do everything that I do before. I'm just hoping to hopefully just be able to just keep cooking, take every opportunity I can. I mean, I love cooking competition barbecue, and I don't really have a limit or a ceiling of where I'm just gonna let barbecue take me wherever it takes me. I guess I just enjoy doing it.
Maybe you got a few more TikTok followers. I gotta tell you, man, I was happy to get you on here because I love your TikToks, man. You got a good TikTok channel. If you don't,
man, we got bored in 2020 through a pandemic, started playing around with TikTok, and started really enjoying it. And I'm glad that more barbecue teams are on there. I've been harassing Mr. Dancing King, Mr. Luke Darnell, telling him he has to get one because I think his would be the most hilarious TikTok.
Yeah, it would be good
on there. But yeah, it's just cool seeing everybody's videos and stuff and being able to put music behind it and everything. I don't know squat about video editing and stuff. So that little app lets me do some things that are kind of fun to do with stuff and cross post it on Facebook and everything. And I don't know, it's fun for sure. I like your guys' TikToks too. You guys, TikTok's one of those things I do I don't actually play on TikTok till evening. It's my before bed ritual every night. Probably makes me not get to bed as quick as I probably should, but man, I enjoy just watching TikToks. And
Case is not a fan of.
Oh, you sooner or later you get on.
No.
He has been on TikTok though. You ready to see it?
Oh God. Really?
He might know something about walking on ice.
I know all about that and stuff.
It's terrible.
There's nothing fun about that.
Yeah, he's not even laughing.
It usually follows the chiropractor appointment. All kinds of fun
things. Yeah.
So another thing, living up north, what is a barbecue season? We hear about the barbecue season now. What is that?
Yeah, that's right. You guys don't know about that because you cook 24/7, 365, don't you?
Yes.
Yeah, here in KCBS land, our last points event of the year is October 31st. And then we got the KCBS Invitational, and then of course, technically a season starts then November 1st, but the contests don't really start picking up for a little bit. We get a little bit of downtime here. I mean, there's a few stragglers here and there for contests down south, but yeah, we have to take a little bit of a break before we can find some good weather and cook again. And if I ever win the lottery or whatever, I'm just going to buy a vacation home in Texas to come down and cook with you guys in the winter months.
Yeah, no, we see commercials like on Lowe's, and there's like, well, now the barbecue grilling season's open. I was like, what? I know what they mean, but that's
well, we can all have our dreams, maybe someday I'll get to, go down there and cook with you guys over the winter time. But I definitely envy you guys' ability to be able to cook year round at contests and stuff.
Somebody wants me to ask you about cinnamon rolls.
Yeah, we make a couple of them.
Only 8, right? Just like the chicken.
We used to make a pan of 12. Now we're cooking 24 of them, and starting to get to the point where maybe we might have to find a way to get it. So I warm them bad boys up in my pit. So I do. There is a limit on how many of them I can cook in the morning and still cook what I need to cook.
Right.
But the caramel rolls are getting more popular in the morning. It's kind of that's our breakfast ritual, if you will. I'm sure you guys down there kind of just like us, where everybody kind of has their little breakfast things they like to share in the morning at contests. And that's kind of our thing. I wish I had enough of them to share with everybody at a contest, but unfortunately I don't. So
now I know why he only cooks 8 chicken thighs, because he's got to make room for 24 cinnamon rolls.
Yeah.
So there was a question. I think you mentioned it. How many times you competed at the Royal? 2018 was your first year, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yep.
So 3 times, 11th, a reserve, and a grand.
One of the biggest mistakes I made in barbecue is having the attitude of I'm not going to the Royal until I win and get the Invitational. If I'd have done it over again, I'd have cooked the American Royal Open the very first year I could even think about affording it. I probably wouldn't got a loan to do it. But anybody out there that has that attitude, lose it. Go to the Royal and cook it, even if you got to cook the Open.
It's definitely
in 2019, I got reserve at the Open. A lot of people I hear say, well, if you don't cook the Invitational, you'll never do good in the Open. I reserved it, not cooking the Invitational. You can go there and do well doing it.
That's pretty awesome. That is awesome. Yeah, Manuel Moreno, he's with Chingon Barbecue. Do you know him?
Sure do. I met him last year.
Yep.
The one good thing about COVID is it brought all of us together. Man, I cooked contests with contest that was probably closer to my house than his last year, and had a lot of fun. I actually haven't seen him yet this year. Hoping we'll see him before the year's done.
He's inviting you down to Uvalde. That would be some good practice.
Yeah.
For the Houston Livestock Show. That's a great cook-off in December down in Uvalde or over in
You can
Uvalde,
leave your
Texas.
jackets probably at the house, because even if it's cold for us, you'll probably be in shorts.
Yes.
One thing about going down to Texas this winter and cooking, I'll be definitely enjoying your guys' weather more than mine.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, before we let you go, you want to give a shout out to any sponsors that help you along the way?
Yeah, absolutely. We can definitely give a shout out. Do you want to meet a barbecue dog?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Bernie, bring him over. Carry him over.
You got Phil Breeden in the house. $25,000 payout. It's 26. 26.
Bernie, come here. I need your help. There we go. Oh,
He's not eating pizza.
yeah, Bernie's been eating pizza. But there's the real champion of the team right here.
Love it.
He's the VIP. Yeah, he manages the websites and everything, does all the important stuff. But there's Mr. Bernard, the barbecue dog.
Nice.
He loves traveling and running around in hotels and whatnot. But yeah, sponsors. I want to thank all of them: Duffy Farms and Ray Hybrids, Barbecue Heaven at Fireplace Professionals Inc. here in Sioux Falls, Compart Family Farms, Man Meat Barbecue, Joe Bob's Barbecue, Smoky Okie, Ribalizer. I know I'm forgetting a couple here. Joe Bob's website that he sells his rub is Flavor Dog. I hashtag them quite a bit.
Flavored dog.
Flavor Dog.
Nice.
I'm probably missing somebody, and I apologize if I have. I've done a few of these now, and a lot of them run together on what I've said and haven't said, and this and that. And so I hope I got everybody, but if I missed you, I apologize.
So I doubt anyone's asked you this on any of these podcasts, but in reference to your shirt, which is near and dear to my heart, just because I got back from a weekend of watching him just kick the shit out of everybody at Texas Motor Speedway, does Kyle Larson go on to Phoenix and win a Cup championship?
Absolutely. But more importantly, he also wins Knoxville Nationals next year also.
Done. You heard it here first. Cup champion and winning Knoxville.
And the King's Royal.
Rob has no idea what we're talking about.
Okay. Yeah, I have a hobby of watching sprint car racing, and apparently you have some racing history too.
Yeah, and so we are season ticket holders at Texas Motor Speedway, and Kyle Larson put on a hell of a show on Sunday. So.
Yeah, I watched the later part of that, and it was pretty dominating.
Yes.
It was pretty cool watching him do what he's doing in motorsports right now.
What the hell just happened to this show?
She really?
He polluted it with racing. This is my special edition Knoxville champion Kyle Larson shirt. I just got this a couple weeks ago.
Nice. All right. It's a redneck thing. Yeah.
It's a redneck thing.
It's a redneck thing. Phil Breeden's in the house. What's up, Phil? Play the clip. You already missed it, Phil. We'll play it again later. Don't worry. Hey, Travis, man. That was awesome. Thanks for coming on the show. You were a great guest. Hopefully we can get you down the line as well. But congratulations on winning the American Royal. Congratulations and much success continued on the barbecue season. Case, you got anything for Travis?
No, man. Just remind all those South Dakota State Jackrabbit fans that the champs still live in Texas and likely will remain in Texas once we get done whipping their butt in Frisco again this year.
Oh, man. I'm glad I just follow racing. You guys get too serious with that college.
No, it's him. He ain't that serious. He's got 6 teams, so don't worry about that.
Yes. Yes.
Travis, hey, man, thanks again. We appreciate it. Thanks for coming on in a hotel while you're about to do a class out there. So we definitely appreciate it.
Hey, thanks a lot for having me on, man.
All right,
Congratulations, brother.
All right, thank you.
Take care, bub. Thank you. All right, there he was. Travis Duffy, our 3rd American Royal Open champ. Oh, I meant to ask him one last question.
Nah, bring him back on. No.
It was
awesome. It's awesome for the parts that I got to see.
I was wondering why. He is on. I got one more question.
He's got pizza to eat, Rob.
I know he does. I'm gonna let him go right after this. But the Invitational is also a world championship, but more play gets played in the Open. Why do you think that is?
More what? Yes.
More. I don't know. Attention is played to the Open.
Then between the Invitational,
the Royal, the Invitational Royal and the Invitational Open.
The
Open Royal.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, when I approached the American Royal from the beginning, the one that I really wanted to win and still do is the Invitational. While I sit here with a world champion trophy from the Open, I'd be lying if I tell you that my goals ain't gonna pivot to winning the Invitational or trying to figure out how to score better in the Invitational, because ultimately I want to do well in that also. And you see a difference, and I think a lot of why the Open is what it is the amount of teams and then the invites you get. I mean, a South Dakota farm kid like me is never going to be able to cook Houston unless I win the Royal.
There you go.
But hey, it's an opportunity, and I have to take it now. I'll probably never get a chance to cook it again. So
we'll definitely see you. We'll come over to Champions Row and visit you. They don't give Champions Row to party teams, Case.
No, they don't. There are some serious cooks over there.
And then there's me, but yeah.
All right, buddy. Well, we'll see you here in February, and if you can make that Uvalde, try and put that in your plans. It will.
I'll have to hit him up and find out a little more about that one.
Absolutely.
Bring your shorts. It'll be shorts weather for you.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I suppose. Yeah.
All right, Trev. Thanks. We appreciate
Thanks a lot.
it.
Yep.
Bye. All right, now
he's been on twice now. Technically, he was on twice. Yeah,
man, that was cool. Thank you, Travis, for doing that. All right, we're gonna get to some wrap up recaps, and then we're gonna talk about the. I think Case wants to talk about something, but let's give a shout out to
now that everyone changed cameras and devices, and
I'm glad you did it. That clicking was bothering me and everybody else. But hang on. Shout out to our great sponsors, Rec Tech, Cosmos Q Products, Texas Pepper Jelly, Briscoe Ranch Cook-Off at the Crossroads, LC Barbecue, Rick's RV Rentals and Repairs, Eureka Heights Brew Company, Chicken Fried Barbecue Grind, Jay Harding and Company, Texas Oil Dust, Bullprint Wraps and Graphics, and the Barbecue Store in Hempstead. Thank you for supporting the Stove Smoking Gooder Show. All right, yes, thank you for supporting the Stove Smoking Gooder Show. Case, so there has been a lot of action on social media this week.
Really?
Yes.
I haven't seen anything.
You haven't seen anything?
Nothing.
I've seen a few. There's been some comments about the scoring system that IBCA is running. What do you want to add to that? Anything?
Is that where we're going?
Yeah, I thought that's where you wanted to go.
Oh, yeah. No, it's, the comments fly is just amazing, from an opinion standpoint. One of the things that I've seen the comments, and like I get some of the things, nobody wants to be given a 2 on something, right?
Right.
So if we put a bottom threshold on it where, let's say, I don't know, 6, well, then we're going to complain that, well, is this a 6? Someone's always going to, whatever the lowest threshold is, we're going to jump on social media and put it out in front of everybody and say, well, did I deserve a 4 or did I deserve a 5? And I don't know. I wasn't in the judge's room. I just, I saw a comment talking about some of the disparity in the scoring. Well, listen, if, from 1st to 20th is a huge disparity. Does it make you feel any better? Are you a better 20th if you're closer, or are you still 20th?
Yeah.
Like, look at the difference in these scores. 20th place is 100 points off. Well, maybe your barbecue is 100 points off. Does it make you feel any warm? Do you go snuggle at home with your 6s and go, well, I was only 50 points off? You're still 20th, dumbass. I mean, I'm not a math major, but whether you get a 2 or a 5 or a 7.5, what's the point of having a 1 to 10 if we can't give somebody gave you a 1? I was at my 3-year-old soccer practice tonight. She probably deserved a 2, but the coach gave her a 6 because that's what 3-year-olds in soccer get, not grown-ass adults.
So you're
got a 2, you got a 2. If you got a 3, you got a 3. But they wanted the visibility, right? Everybody wanted to see whatever. Judges gave you a 2 before you got it, before this.
Yeah.
Okay? You got it. Now you see it, and you go on, and we post a picture of it. Well, it's like having an ugly kid. No one on social media is going to go, no, your kid's a 2. Your kid's ugly as shit. But we sit there and we go to get coddled on social media because, listen, 20th is 20th. I don't care if you're 5 points from the lead, 100 points from the lead. 50 is 50th. Okay?
You got a fan.
Hey, I do have a – no, I had a funny joke about him this weekend, and I'm not going to say it.
All right.
I'm not going to say it.
You sure?
But text me. I'll tell you what it was because it was pretty funny. So, it's – so – I mean, you tell me. I mean, does it get you warm and fuzzy on the inside if hey, the score's 1 to 10, but you all get a participation trophy because we're just glad you're here, you loser? Or do you want to know if your shit sucked? I don't want to leave an event thinking that I'm that close when I'm not. Now, I don't believe I filled out the survey, because God forbid they change the point system before the one cook-off I do this year. But
to their credit,
I don't believe.
To their credit, IBCA's credit, they did hear from the cooks and they did put out a survey I think they'll overreact. I think it's a knee-jerk reaction. I don't think you should change. If you want to make a change, do it when the point season's over with. Because people did cook under this system. We have to adapt, but because you had a bad day at the office, I mean, good Lord, I've never seen a bigger group of people who complain about people graduating from kindergarten, and they complain about millennials, and they complain about how soft everybody is, but God forbid they get a 2 on a damn barbecue box. I mean, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. And no one wants to hear it. And I hate to break it to you. If 2 judges gave you a 2 and you dropped the lowest one, you still got a damn 2 from the other person. What if there's a judge sitting at a table who doesn't want this sauced up brisket? Well, I had a conversation with a cook, a very popular cook, very successful cook. And one of the takeaways and my biggest frustration with it is we're so far away from cooking anything that I would serve at a tailgate, a backyard, or to my family. What's going in these boxes nowadays is this injected MSG, holy crap. How much stuff can we stick in a brisket? And he said, I don't eat that shit.
He wins, and he wins a lot. And his exact comment was, I don't eat that shit. It's a barbecue competition that's turned into an injection, rub, sauce. And let's be honest, let's say you put something in front of a judge. I sauce a brisket, okay? But some old man in Columbus, Texas goes, why the hell is there sauce on my brisket? You get it too, fat boy. And I'm going to go home and I'm going to take my picture and I'm going to wake up on Sunday and I go, can y'all believe someone gave me a 2? And he probably gave me a 2 last year. I just didn't know about it. But now you wanted the visibility and you got it, and now you're pissed off because you get to know it. And God forbid somebody gives you a crappy score. No one, when you lose, no one agrees. No one wants to say I sucked that day. But we just had a guy on the show that went from 58th to winning the Royal in 24 hours. And he said, man, I did the same thing I did the day before. The judges interpret it differently. Does that mean for the rest of the day I'll put an asterisk by him? Well, yeah, he won the Royal, but Travis finished 58th the day before. No, the son of a bitch won the Royal. And he said, I got my ass kicked the day before. But I don't know.
Good points, Case.
Told you I was fired up. I had to go find. You know.
I hope you're not done. Are you done?
Do I need to be? Are we done?
No, I don't know.
You tell me. We talk about this. You and I talk about this, and
Yes.
and we do, and we have. I don't agree with. I like single round judging. I have my own preferences. I agree with single round judging. I don't agree with they should take the top 2 or 5 or whatever it is per table. If I'm the best, I'm the best. I agree with CBA when it comes to if there's 50 boxes, it should be the top 10, top 50. Just because I'm better than a bunch of shitty cooks on my table doesn't mean I'm better than you or Fred or Roddy. You know, just because I'm on a table full of bad boxes, I should be moved on or better than a table that was full of good boxes. That's not right. But I think some guys lived moving on, right? Because they got on a table. Well, maybe you weren't that good. You just ended up on a table with some bad barbecue. I've been in a first round rib room, and I said, God damn, these are some pretty tough ass ribs. So yeah, if you're the best, you're the best. If you know, I don't know. Tell me something. I know you won't push the envelope. You've got a bigger vested interest in the sanctioning body than I do. And we ultimately, but you know, there's a lot of opinions that flew this week, right?
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people got upset, all right, because what was said on the keyboard. Last time I checked, we're all members. And you can check, I'm a lifetime member for my one cook a year.
You got your vote.
I mean, we all can have an opinion. Why people get upset by other people, just because it's a mob mentality. Let's all move together. Everybody who wants 6 and above, you guys all go stand in that corner. Your team 6 and above. Everybody who wants 17 rounds and 5 different tables and eating cold food, you guys go sit in your corner. Everybody who's okay with being a grown adult and scoring a 2, you can go over here. I'm not saying any of y'all are wrong, but you have a choice. You have a choice on where you go. You have a choice on who you elect. And so personally, I think it's a knee-jerk reaction. Do they need to switch some stuff? Okay. But just because a bunch of vocal cooks got angry on Facebook, I just don't see I don't see rewriting the rules mid-game.
Don Vito has a point. That was good, Case. Which corner are you in? Are you in the grown-ass adult room, or are you in?
I'm in. We're gonna see what flies in June in Columbus, and if it sticks, it sticks. If I win, it's because it's the greatest judging in the world. If I lose, it's obviously I'll post photos on Sunday and complain to everyone and want everyone's sympathy.
Case for IBCA president.
No, thank you.
Come
I'm
on.
turning that nomination down right now. No.
That's silly. Well, well, good. I'm glad you got that off your chest.
You tell me, what corner are you in, big boy?
I'm not a member of IBCA, so I didn't get to vote.
Okay, but you are a member of CBA. Y'all do things differently. I mean, where do you're going to stand on it? I'm gonna, as long as there's not 17, I'm gonna invite you to Columbus, and we're gonna force you to cook an IBCA event.
Yeah, I might cook. I think I'm cooking one next week as well, an IBCA event. Where do I stand? I think they have some work to do, and like I said, to their credit, they put out a survey.
What work?
Asked them. I think they need to tweak. They have some.
Sound political.
They have some tweaking.
Political. I need what work?
They have some tweaking to do. They need to listen to their people. You know, you say, you know, you call them what you want, but they have interest. You know, they're spending lots of money to do this. They're, you know, like Travis mentioned earlier in the show, the cost of this game, as he called it, is rising. You know, the meat cost, $25 a St. Louis slab of ribs at HEB right now that used to be, you know, $11 is quite a big jump. You know, and that not to take into the, so there's a lot of cost involved, and a lot of people go out there, and it's a gamble. You know what we're doing with money. We're gambling.
But is it again? Well, it was always a gamble.
Yes, it is. I just think
I'm still waiting for somebody to go on there with the first place brisket trophy and criticize the judge. And criticize. Now, I think I did see one where
I have seen people say, "Hey, look, I didn't turn in a good food today, and somehow it hit." You know, that's to me, that's a.
But you and I have both said that. We've walked, guys, we've all tried each other's food, and we've walked away going, man, did you try so-and-so's? It sucked. And then he gets a walk, and you go, how did he get a walk? That was terrible. You won't tell that to his face. But you and I have had that conversation. Listen, I've had everybody's brisket around us, and, man, ours is the best here. The rest of them, they're all terrible. Then they get a walk, and we go, these stupid judges. But if we win, no one ever gets on there and goes, you know what? I had a dominating performance today. I want to thank my sponsor, and I want to thank the shitty judging system, because obviously I was 20th today, and because of the judging system, I got to win. No, we put the plastic tube trophies on Facebook, and we hashtag away, and we hang another VFW banner from the ceiling, and we go about it. But all of a sudden, when we don't win, it's never our fault.
Yeah, I'm in the camp that doesn't complain about judging.
I get it, but we're here because people did.
Yeah, and it's a big firestorm right now. You know, you can open up daily. It's coming up, this topic, what we see on our feeds as far as
I just think if you put a bottom on it, whatever that bottom is, someone's always going to pick the bottom and go, did I deserve to be a 2, a 5, a 6, a 4, a 2.5? Maybe you didn't that day, but a judge sat there, took their time to go there. And I think they always have. I think the judging has always been that way. Does it always make sense? No. Right? But unless you're going to train judges, right? And I think KCBS has, I think they've done something right there. But we've always said we didn't want to do that.
Yeah.
We want. So unless you're going to sit there and go through certification and training, SCA does it. KCBS does it. So if you want to regulate more, it can be done. But, all right. I was fired up.
So what did you vote? How did you vote? Do you want to divulge that?
Yeah. So when I filled out the survey, and anybody who took the survey, I think there was a lot of time to question.
A lot of verbiage.
Asked me how many events I did a year. I said, 2 to 3. I lied. Okay, it was 1. I wasn't for the old system. I believe I wasn't for the multiple rounds. I like the 1+ table. Okay, I like that part of it.
You like the 1 table and advance to the second round?
Yeah. I think there is a level of, listen, IBC is a little different. I get everybody wants to eat hot food. No one wants to eat cold. Our brisket, I get all of that. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I do like the fact, but I think if you're going to put 15, 18, whatever you're moving to the final table, it needs to be the best in the room, not the handful of each table. It needs to be the best in the room. KCBS is going to give you the highest score no matter what table you're on. CBA, correct me if I'm wrong.
Same.
So whether you're the best on your table doesn't mean you're the best that day.
Right.
So if your argument is the old way, well, guess what? You can pick your bags up, all right, and Felicia can take it to another acronym, and guess what? They're doing the same thing. Yeah. So I do think the best of the best. I like the concept of having one more round. That maybe it's just old school. I don't know. And maybe it's what I was used to. But yeah, I think if we're tweaking a knee-jerk reactions because we did something different, it's not the way we used to do it. I'm not for the guys in the crowd said this is how we've done it forever, how it's always going to be, because I think new organizations have proved there's a better way of doing it. There's a more visible way of doing it. And so I actually agree with that part of it. Do I want to put a limit on the score? No. If somebody thinks I suck, I want to know it. I don't need a feel-good lower number that makes me feel warm and fuzzy inside, because there's a big difference. If I was a 5 or a 4, I'm closer to a 6. But if that guy really thought I was a 2, don't give me a damn 6 if that's just because you're told to.
Yeah.
If I deserve a 2, then I need to know.
Good. Well, there are lots of options now, so I think they'll eventually get it. I don't think they should change mid-season. I think they need to play this out.
Yeah, I think you need to let stuff kind of play out. I think you have to adapt. There's things that KCBS cooks do right that they do differently. We're already doing a ton of stuff anyway to appease a judge. So why maybe you've got to tweak something.
Your argument is a 2.
That's fine. That's fine. You know what?
You deserved it, Case.
You can exactly. I will promise you that I will not lay in bed tonight going, cannot believe Brian Fox gave me a 2 tonight. It's just not that big a deal. Because you know why? I'm a grown adult. It's okay to be a 2.
We got our
Let's go, Brandon. That's exactly
Brandon.
True.
We're talking
Thank you, NASCAR, for that.
Meat. Yes. Talking about our meat prices. All right. 8 should be the lowest score possible. That way we can all RGC.
I'm telling you, everybody should have perfect scores.
I love this Caleb and Case warm and fuzzy we're having right now on the show.
All right, now I have to break the warm and fuzzy. So let me tell you, I have to tell you why. I got a phone call Friday night. I'm at Texas Motor Speedway.
So
I got a phone call Friday night.
You're gonna say the text you teased earlier?
Yes.
Okay, go.
So I got a phone call Friday night from a cook on site. And I said, man, how did it go today? And they said, man, it was awesome. I said, who won? He said, Robert Smith. I said, all right. And I'm a season ticket holder at Texas Motor Speedway. And there's one guy I really didn't want to see on the world's largest television. And that was Caleb. Sorry, Caleb. And I said, well, who was RGC? And he said, oh, it was some KCBS guy. And he was going down the list, and he got to, I think, 5th place. Caleb, if I get it wrong, correct me. But he said, Caleb finished 5th. And I said, well, at least we don't have to worry about trying to fit his big ass on the world's biggest television. Sorry, Caleb. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You just had to tell your joke.
I did say that if word got out that I want to admit that I thought it was funny at the time. I do realize it's 2021 and shaming people is not appropriate, and so I publicly want to apologize for saying a hilarious joke.
Don't get us canceled, Case.
Yes. Sorry, Caleb.
You can cancel Case, just don't get us canceled, Case.
YouTube will cancel us.
YouTube, yes. All right. So, well, that was good. I enjoyed that thoroughly. That was nice.
You didn't say much. You just let me go.
I did. I know my role.
Hit the like button if you think Rob's just a politician.
Well, don't hit the like button. All right. So, so we're going to talk about the bull printing wraps and graphics wrap-up recap. We're going to do it pretty quickly because we are an hour and 20 minutes into this already. It was such a good interview with Travis from Last Call. heroes. So I'm only going to hit up a couple. One for sure that I am going to do is the Hill Country Cook-Off, the Hill Country State Championship Barbecue Cook-Off, IBCA event.
15-foot trophy.
100, yeah, Big Bertha. 158 teams made the trip to Lockhart, Texas, also known as the barbecue capital of, they say the world or of Texas.
It's argued. If you talk to Maynard, he says it's the world.
I think it's old school. I think it's old. But because 158 teams, I will call out the first places in chicken. Jesus Vielma was first place in chicken. First place in ribs was Joe Gutierrez with Backstreet Cookers. And first place brisket, Greg Valesquez from his own barbecue team. And he was the GC. Congratulations, Greg. The RGC was Raymond Hernandez. So great job over there. 158 teams. That's pretty good.
That's a big ass event. Congratulations to Richard
Yes.
in doing that one. Mainly congratulations for moving that sucker from Lone Star. So,
well, he did. There was any others that you want to hit on from last weekend? Let's see here.
I think I already ran down the list.
Oh,
of
Texas
Motor Speedway.
You did Texas Motor Speedway. That was Friday. So Robert Smith RGC. You didn't mention. I mean, Robert Smith GC'd. There were 21 teams. You were there,
I
weren't
think.
you?
Yeah, Robert Smith GC'd, and then he took a major step back and fell off this game 24 hours later.
Trace Ashley was Secondhand Smoke was the RGC. Carissa
My
Smith,
sources say that's a
place.
KCBS guy.
Caleb was in 5th. Sag Miller 8th. Good job, guys. That was pretty cool. Cool venue. It was a nice concept to go to Texas Motor Speedway and do an event out there. So congratulations for that first year event. Event results. Me still chasing Robert Smith in points. And so we're going to make this quick again. Both printing wraps and graphics, wrap up, recap. Tata Throwdown, Double Barrel. Todd Nelson finished RGC. Sure Shot Barbecue. Josh Hale was the GC out in Hempstead. All right, guys. Again, we're coming to the end of this thing because we went long. It was fun, but hang on. Shout out to our sponsor. Shout out to our great sponsors: Rec Tech, Cosmos Q Products, Texas Pepper Jelly, Briscoe Ranch Cook-Off at the Crossroads, LC Barbecue, Rick's RV Rentals and Repairs, Eureka Heights Brew Company, Chicken Fried Barbecue Grind, Jay Harding and Company, Texas Oil Dust, Bullprint Wraps and Graphics, and the Barbecue Store in Hempstead. Thank you for supporting the Stove Smoking Gooder Show. All right, it is time for the Briscoe Ranch Cook-Off upcoming events segment sponsored by the Briscoe Ranch Barbecue Cook-Off at the Crossroads, December 10th and 11th in Uvalde, Texas at the Uvalde County Fairplex.
And Cornhole Championship.
And Cornhole Championship, $26,000. Somebody said $25K. Manuel, it is $26K.
Get it right.
It's $26K up for grabs. Yes, they do have a cornhole tournament as well. That's going to be another kind of badass cornhole. If you're into cornhole, that's going to be Saturday. Don't smile when I say cornhole, Case. I mean, come on, you're going to make me laugh here. So, Case, talk about the Uvalde County Fairplex.
Yeah, absolutely. It's worth the drive. And so not only is it a fantastic event, fantastic facility, well put together, fantastic awards, big, huge pavilion. You can actually hear your name being called. The stereo system is fantastic. So there is I understand there's walk-up music. So make sure everyone's got your walk-up music ready. So it'll be a big venue. And, when that music hits, be ready. What is your walk-up music, by the way?
Broke from Teddy Swims. Roddy Trevino sings it very well, by the way.
Nice.
Yes.
Nice. And so
It's
looking forward to it. They have a great live Facebook feed. And so, yeah, fantastic event. If you're going to ride out to Uvalde. It's worth it. If you can't win in barbecue, you can at least be a cornhole champion. And,
That's right.
And so, but yeah, hope to see a bunch of y'all in Uvalde. So it sounds like, and saw a couple of out of town guests are making the trip down there.
Yes. I'm not sure who you're talking about. Who'd you see?
Is Brad coming?
Oh, for steak?
No. Not to
Brad.
look at it.
Oh, Brad Leininger?
Yes.
I don't know. Is he?
I thought I saw that rumor.
That'd be nice.
Yeah.
Anthony, first place in Hempstead. Brian, first place at the Paralyzed Vets. Good job. Case, guess you'll enter the cornhole tournament. Yes. All right. So October 22nd, that is this weekend. That is starting tomorrow in Castroville, Texas, 5th annual Castroville Police Department's Porkin' in the Park. I once got in trouble for that. Let's see here. How do you say this in Flatonia? The chili spiel case?
I don't speak Flatonia.
Well, I'm going to say it's chili spill in Flatonia, Texas this weekend. Diamond and Dollars at the barbecue store out in Hempstead. That's going on this weekend. And Post, Texas, we got the MK barbecue contest. The national championship, Meridian. Wow, that one's coming up. That's gonna be out in Meridian, Texas. And then the TYOC Yellow Out Day celebration cook-off in Pearland. That's going on this weekend. Next weekend is Friends for Wishes out in Hempstead, Texas. I think that might be my first. I haven't committed yet because I don't know if I can do it with baseball, but I may be able to do that one. We'll see, Mr. Brandon Walker. I am trying to make that happen. Also, in CBA land, we've got 2 big cook-offs this weekend in the Houston surrounding areas. The Jesse Robb Patriots of Texas Music Festival and barbecue cook-off in Magnolia, Texas, over at Unity Park. Still plenty of room for that. And then in Needville, the Denny's Memorial Scholarship barbecue cook-off. That is going on this weekend. And I believe you might see the Bullhorn trailer camped up out in Needville, Texas. We'll see.
Home of the Blue Jays.
Okay. Home of the Blue Jays. Yes, Needville and Magnolia. Roddy, which one are you going to be at? About who won that day, not what could have been. Oh, yeah, there we go. Anthony Cataya is going to be in Needville. All right, well, thank you to the Briscoe Ranch barbecue cook-off at the Crossroads again, December 10th and 11th out in Uvalde, Texas at the Uvalde County Fairplex. CBA sanctioned event, $26,000 up for grabs for that one. Man, make sure you're signed up for that, guys. Make sure you are signed up. Burnt Bean. You're going to be at Burnt Bean? All right, nice. All right.
Hey, number 4. Hey, congratulations,
an hour and a half, brother. That was good, though. Travis was awesome. You were awesome. That was good. And then, of course, we had to do our segments. Number 4. There we go.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's going to wrap up the show for this one. Thank you to Travis Duffy from Last Call Heroes. Again, you can find him on Facebook. Look under Last Call Heroes Barbecue Championship Barbecue Team, I believe. And then on TikTok, he's under Last Calls or LCH BBQ. LCH BBQ on TikTok. Of course, follow us on all social media. So Smoking Gooder Show, Bullhorn BBQ, and on TikTok as well. I need to do more TikToks, Case. You need to do a TikTok with me. We can do a little dance, do all that. No, not in it. Not going to do it. All right. Well, hell, close out the showcase.
Yeah, a big shout out. Texas Monthly Barbecue Top 50 came out. Congratulations to Ernest Cervantes and Burnt Bean Company for being number 4, I think, right out the gate. So you set the bar pretty high. I know we've got some friends, and I know there's a lot of fantastic barbecue joints that are on the list. But super proud of the work that Ernest and the team has done in Seguin. We've been there multiple times, and it is a truly destination-worthy barbecue joint, and congratulations that they got such acclaim early on. So 4th in the state, that's pretty awesome. But I just want to give him a big shout out.
Yeah, we'll do a full segment on that next week. Go over who
and
you've
so
been to.
but congratulations and anybody else that's out there in barbecue land. If you made that list, let us know. But Ernest for sure, congratulations to those guys. But fun night talking barbecue, Travis. Fantastic guest. Congratulations to Royal Champion for coming on tonight from South Dakota, and so that's awesome. And
I gotta give a shout out before we go, Carly.
Yes, shout out.
Carly, good luck this weekend. She just turned 13, and she's competing this week in steak.
I guarantee you that you'll do better than my first event at SCA.
She'd probably beat Brian Fox right now.
I don't even think he's an SCA cook anymore.
He's not.
And so, but absolutely. So keep the comments flying. We love it. We were due. I was due to get fired up over something. And so we certainly enjoy it. Great guest tonight. Man, just I don't know, fun night at barbecue. I was looking forward to tonight. Glad we got on. Travis, you're the man. Congratulations. I know somebody from South Dakota now, so I'm pretty excited. And he's a NASCAR fan. Man, I don't have anything else, so I can tell you this. Good night, Barbecue Nation. You too, California. Bye, Felicia.
All right, that's going to wrap it up. Good luck this weekend if you guys are cooking. Hopefully we'll say your name next week on the Bull Printing Wraps and Graphics Wrap-Up Recap. Other than that, let's go out there and have fun. Do it. Whatever you're going to do, go out there and have fun and enjoy doing it. We'll see you next week.
We'll read about it on Sunday.
Next week on the show. We'll be back talking World Series baseball, hopefully. Absolutely. All right, guys. We'll see you later. Late.